Let me get this out of the way first. I had a blast watching this in theaters. In fact, I had a smile on my face practically the entire time. It made me feel like a kid again. It was funny, it was wonderful, and it's the most fun I've had so far in theaters. Well, Serenity was a pretty close second, because Serenity was such a hilariously bad movie. This was genuinely funny, and like I said, most fun I've had so far in theaters. Lego Movie 2, the second part, is of course a sequel to the Lego Movie, if you haven't guessed from the title alone. The movie starts off right where the last one left off, where the kid now has to share the whole Lego set with his younger sister, and she has aliens arrive. 5 years later, and the whole Lego city is pretty much the apocalypse. Bleak and unhappy, very broody, except for our main character Emmett, who is still happy and optimistic as ever. But aliens arrive, General Mayhem kidnaps all of his friends, and now he's gonna have to go on a space adventure to the Sistar system in order to save them all. But also he gets some help from Rex Dangervest, which is also voiced by Chris Pratt. Let's not beat around the bush. I love this movie. I thought this was funny. It was even more meta than the first one. And that makes sense because the first one had that big surprise where it's all in the imagination of a kid. And you have this sort of like big mind-blowing moment. Now that that's out of the bag, you have to have the sequel have that sort of same feel, still have to address the fact that it's a kid playing with these Legos and creating the story of the characters, and ultimately the characters being sort of alter egos of him and what he's going through. And so this ultimately allows this movie to be a little bit more meta and more aware of that fact. Granted, it shows the kids in live action a little bit too much, but there's some interesting things that the movie does with it. You have the original cast of voices, which all do a fantastic job. Chris Pratt gets to be two characters in this movie, and I love Rex and how he's even more of an alter ego of Chris Pratt. Even when he lists off all the things that he is, a galaxy defender, a cowboy, archaeologist, a raptor trainer. This is all roles that Chris Pratt has played or was rumored to go play. He was rumored to be Indiana Jones at one point. That's why the archaeologist is added in there. It's very meta, or at least referential or self-aware. This was also one of the few times where I was pleased by Tiffany Haddish's performance. Usually she gets typecast as the loud, annoying, obnoxious character. She did a wonderful job, and I liked her singing voice, and I liked her character as Queen how do you pronounce that? Because I know I'm messing it up. I know I'm going to mess it up. Because it was like Queen what? Let's see. Queen whatever Wanabe. Queen whatever Wanabe. Yeah, because she can change into anything. So there's a lot of puns in this movie, like the Sistar system, because, yeah, it's the sister. It's her imagination. It's her world that they have to travel to. Queen whatever Wanabe, who can turn into anything. There's a whole apocalypse that's going to happen, which is Armageddon, which is, of course, something to do with their mother, the kid's mother, not the Lego character's mother. Though some of the other puns used in this movie weren't so great, but the puns dealing with the name and the name of the places, I loved them. The main thing that I loved about it is I just found it so damn funny. And with whether it's the referential humor, the off-the-wall type of humor, the meta humor, there's a lot of it that worked for me, and thankfully, well, this is probably to its benefit. It's very much like the Lego Batman movie, where they throw so many references, so many jokes out there that it's like coming a mile a minute. One of them or more of them are bound to hit. There are times where the movie throws so many jokes at you at the same time where it feels like there's 4 jokes or more just either rapidly one after the other or jokes within jokes within jokes, which could be a little overwhelming for some people, and some people might not like all those jokes or most of the jokes thrown at you, but I think if you miss some jokes, a second viewing might help. I still feel the animation was superb in this movie, especially how everything is either made out of Legos or some sort of material that kids would use for this whole adventure. I especially love the Lego pieces that forms Queen whatever Wanabe. I'm gonna keep messing that up. But I love the Lego pieces that are used to form her, and during some of the musical sequences, yeah, there's a lot of musical sequence in this movie to the point where it's almost a musical. But when the Lego pieces that are used to help her dance and make those moves are actually pretty ingenious. Speaking of the music, I love the musical moments in this movie. I love the songs. They're satirical songs making fun of musicals and musical moments within adventures or Disney type movies or animated films, like the evil villain or the evil villain having a song, and how they sing about how they're not evil by saying that I'm like unnasty and unvillainous and all that kind of thing, and trying to tempt people into pretending that she's not evil, but being very sinister. It actually takes quite a bit of talent, I feel, to make a song that makes fun of various elements and makes things blatantly obvious, while at the same time being a catchy and good and entertaining song. The ending credits of this movie, which is a song about credits, and even that was goddamn funny. And of course, there's the song that supposedly puts people in trances, and it's a song you can't get out of your head. Literally. Song's gonna get stuck in your head. Even though I really enjoyed this movie, I didn't like it as much as the first one, so that could be a flaw that I can say. I also feel the live action sequences weren't as good or as memorable as the first one, but then the first one, it was such a surprise and just such a mind blower that you have to almost love it. And the second one, you already know that's going to happen, and it just doesn't have that much of an impact. In fact, even the fact that the mom is also a famous comedian, that just wasn't as funny as Will Ferrell showing up and actually being the father and also the voice of the villain in the movie. And ultimately, if you look at the formula, it is the same formula of the first film, so if you're hoping for something exciting and very different, you might not get it for this one. But honestly, I didn't have that much of an issue with it. I just know most people, or some people, will. In the end, I really enjoyed this movie, and I'm going to have to give it 4.5 stars. That is about half star less than what I would give the original. The original is a 5-star animated film for me. So, did you see the Lego Movie 2, the second part? What did you think about it? Go ahead and comment below. And if you like this video and you want to see more, please subscribe and check out my movie reviews or countdowns of this year or previous years of whatever. As always, this is Bruce Gifford, and this was just my opinion.